Tonight, part 2 of a tale of fast cars and fast deals. We have found car buyers out tens of thousands of dollars from Houston to Atlanta and beyond. All claim an admitted Russian mobster cheated them.
Well, all of this is well known to law enforcement. Eyewitness News reporter Ted Oberg investigates why the cops haven't done anything yet to stop it.
Money bags everywhere.
As a rapper, Houstonian Norman Simmons goes by the president.
President is still black.
In his videos, he sits in the Oval Office, cash piled high on the most powerful desk in the world.
Money rule a nation.
In real life, Norman Simmons is caught in a web.
I don't care who you are. I need 150 grand.
The man Simmons says cheated him out of all that money on two bad car deals is Mani Chulpayev. Twice federally convicted, a New York Post columnist once said he tests the definition of evil, brutal, and dishonorable.
It's like you going to, the Ford dealership and you buy a car from just the guy salesman, and then all of a sudden, he's the Russian mob. You're like, okay.
Sure, Manny didn't tell Norman about his past, but he hasn't exactly been shy about it. Manny even bragged about his teenage start with the Russian mob in a 2009 National Geographic documentary. It was subtly called Brooklyn's Russian Gangsters.
There was a search for new talent, non-violent talent. People that would come up with schemes, stockbrokers, Medicare and stuff, And we were the young talent back then. We had more value than a hitman.
After his first federal conviction, Manny's prison sentence was cut short when he testified against his criminal comrades and told a federal judge in 2002, "I'm sorry for all my actions. I have learned that easy money could lead me to spend the rest of my life behind bars." 3 years later, the feds helped shorten his sentence again when he was busted for selling cars he didn't own. For Travis Jones, it all sounds painfully familiar.
That pisses me off quite a bit, to be quite honest. I'm out quite a bit of money.
See that Infiniti behind Travis? It's one of 2 cars he bought from Manny. The Jones never did get a title, but for 3 years they've been making payments on a car they can't legally drive.
Just the stress this has caused us every single day.
It is a similar story for Houstonian Norman Simmons, the president. He tells us he bought a Porsche and a Mercedes from Manny, but according to a lawsuit, lost them both. You have $230,000 tied up in 2 cars.
Correct.
Not the title for either one.
No, not even a plate for either one.
Simmons has something else in common with the Joneses in Atlanta. They're both suing Manny.
The first time we went to the police, they told us they should be under arrest within a week or 2, and that was 3 years ago.
Jones told the court under oath why he thinks Manny isn't behind bars.
Only to find out when it comes time to arrest him that their hands are tied, that higher-ups are telling them to leave them alone. FBI, other names and organizations were thrown around.
Roswell police officers are still investigating, and the Atlanta FBI denies providing any protection for Manny. He is still out on the streets, where our colleagues from WSB tracked him down.
And if you put me on TV, I will sue the shit out of your company.
Manny wouldn't answer them, not even when pressed about any help he's getting from the feds.
Are the feds doing you favors to keep you out of jail, sir?
No matter what he did for the government, should he have some immunity to scam you?
I don't question the government's immunity, but, of course I don't want to be scammed either.
Norman Simmons says he's out $150,000. An Atlanta couple is stuck with a loan and a car they can't drive.
Somehow, some way, these guys are walking the streets, they don't care.
And the twice-convicted Russian mobster,
Mr. Chulpayev,
he was last seen speeding away in a high-end Mercedes. While that Atlanta couple was dealing with police on their own, Norman Simmons certainly complained to the Houston Police Department. But by the time they untangled the web for themselves, Manny was long gone. Ted Oberg, 13 Eyewitness News.